All right, what's up, everyone? Hopefully this is working. I didn't actually get to check my mic before we get started, but it seems like everything's working. Got signal, got music playing, just so it's not quiet and dull in the background while I talk and ramble on and struggle through coding. So that's the fun stuff. That's what we get to do tonight. So I have a long list of things that I want to get done. It's been probably a little bit over a week since I streamed last, so got a nice little to-do list that I've been thinking about and want to get started on it. So I won't spend too much time here thinking through what I'm going to do. We're just going to jump in and do it because here we just have a couple of things. So the first thing I want to do is, this was something that I did when I had, I think it was Payload 2, I think it was version 2, where I was able to, since it was hosted on a different server, I was able to query my API to get the icons that I needed for the the logo here. And so if I go to my global settings, I should have some logos in here. Yeah, I've got the square logo that would be perfect right here, and then the landscape logo too, which I could use in my login, log out, whatever. And so I want to take a look and see if I'm able to do that. So we need to go into our config, which is not open. So let's go down. So we're going to need this components folder here in a second. But here's the real thing here. All right, so generate title, generate description. This is plugins. We don't want that. Don't need the search plugin, but we might go and do the search plugin. I have a feeling it won't be this video, but maybe we'll start. Don't know. All right, then we got our globals. So I'm looking for this here. So what we're going to do is, this is going to break stuff. So let me end the server session there. And what we're going to do is include our own logo and icon. Custom component, and we'll see if these actually exist right now. So source graphics, they do. So what I'm going to do is actually move these into component. So let's move these up to components, refactor, and do components. I don't even think I need source. We'll see here in a second. So then we have our icon. We'll start there. Now this is what I really wanted to figure out. Can I get what I need for the icon here? And so that means I need to undo that. Probably need both of these. Those are other icons for another client. So let's stick with this one here. And then I think I only have the one icon here. And so we'll leave this return statement as it is, because that's for how I would actually render it if this doesn't work. So we can just do a return, and then we can just do image. Source alt, which I don't need that. So then we can do, what does it need to be? Width, then height. And this is not going to be an image object because I don't need it to have, I don't need SEO. What am I trying to say? Oh yeah, I don't need the schema to be rendered on the front end here. So for source, we'll just do icon URL, then alt should be, okay, so globals dot, dang it, man. All right. So let's just do, so const light mode icon, set that equal to globals dot logos dot square logo dot file name. Should be able to just do, it may actually infer the type properly. Oh wait, here. As media. So we're going to import our media from types. And then here I should be able to do light mode icon dot alt description, and then we can do the same thing here, where we'll do light mode icon dot width and dot height. And so we'll set some defaults, 640 width. I don't think I need that to be a string, so we'll set this to be 360. And then, oops, do that. And then this needs a string to fall back on. All right, so now we can come here to our payload config. We're working with the icon right now, so let's turn logo off. Save this, and then let's just open this up and see what happens. I can't imagine that this is going to work. Because I'm trying to pull from the API in like a root component that is in the config. So let's take a look here. Do I need to do payload generate import map? Okay, so that's promising. I still feel like this isn't going to work. We're still going for it, but there's just no... Logically, I don't think it makes sense that this would work. All right. Components icon. Okay, so we do source components icon. And then I think I need to rerun our generate import map. And so with this, we won't spend too much time trying to figure this out because, again, I don't think it's going to work. But this is just on the off chance that some things changed from the last time I tried to do this with payload 3. Again, it worked in payload 2, so who knows? Oh, hey, it works. All right, so it's really hard for, I'm sure, you guys to see since this is dark mode with a dark icon. I wonder, though, do I have a light mode version of this? And so I'm going to take a look real quick. I'm actually really surprised that this works, so I did not have a light mode or a dark mode icon ready to go because I didn't think this would work. So let's take a look here. Logo files. I do have an all-white one. Perfect. So we'll go to our global settings, and we'll come down here to dark mode square, and we're going to create new, where I'm going to do that, and this is going to be mid-low mark, light mode, oh, dark mode icon, the dark mode version of the mid-low mark logo. All right, and so I didn't create this. One of my good friends did, so I am going to credit him on this. We can actually just do, let's see, so if you need some design work, this is the guy. If I can remember his URL, I want to make sure that I put this in here. Okay. Well, I guess I'll put his Instagram here. I'll do his LinkedIn. Because I can't find his actual website, but that's all right. So there's that. We can hit save. And now what we'll do for the icon is we'll want to take out our dark mode icon. Oh, wait. So I don't actually need to, oh, maybe I do. So logos, and then I think I can do, so square logo dot. All right, so let's take a look at the API. Oops, on this page, save. API, so we got our square logo, landscape logo. Dark mode. Oh, did I put it in the wrong thing? Square logo, dark mode, square. Or it just didn't save because I'm a dummy. So let's hit save. Okay. Yeah, alright, so that was right. So it should be dark mode square. And then here, I believe we would set it here. So instead of that source, we could just do, so this is the light mode version, so this should be the primary version. Or yeah, so let's do that, and then we've got dark mode square, width, height, and then source set should just be dark mode icon dot file name. So we need all of this here first. And so what I'm trying to do, is get the dark mode version working here. So it should be dark mode square. All right, let's see what happens. So if we inspect, and then we can go to our prefers color scheme dark. Okay, so that's not working like I want it to. Let's do a hard refresh. All right, so what we want to do then instead is get the image to choose between dark mode and light mode. What happens if I do? Because on image, there's no media? Yeah, there's no media. I didn't think so. So what happens if I just remove this? Let's see if we can at least get the icon working. So no, it doesn't quite work this way. Is there a way to just do source? Instead of source set, we can see does not appear so. So then what we'll want to do is do image here. And then this needs also the alt, which is going to be globals, alt description. All right, so it's showing up there. Then the issue becomes, how do I get it to show up only in dark mode? And so here, so we can do NextJS image prefers dark mode. Okay, let's take a look. Different. Okay. Okay, so what may need to happen, source, So this should have worked with source here. So if we do our source again, so we've got width, we've got height, we wouldn't need, does alt not exist on source? Oh, it does not. Okay, so then we come here, and then do I need width and height here? All right, so let's take a look at what this does. Because the container should still be there, we can inspect it. Yeah, so home, dashboard, picture, source. Then if I come here, so that should be working just fine. Oh, wait. Prefers color scheme dark. I'm clearly in dark mode, so that's a little confusing. Let's restart the server just real quick. Because I've got the file name. We just tested the image to make sure it works. It does. So we click in all the way here. We've got dashboard, we've got picture, and then we've got source. And I know that image doesn't have what happens if I do a fallback here. So it goes to the fallback, it seems. Interesting. Okay. Oh well. So what we'll need to do then is find a way to have something hidden or shown on dark mode. So, and I know I've done this on the front end before, so maybe it's there. Let's take a look real quick. It should be on layout. Should be up here. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. So it'd be in the app. There we go. Layout. So here, oh, it's link. Okay. So that's not quite what I'm looking for. And also this isn't currently working. So maybe that's something to look at too. But I think this might be what the issue is. But anyway, let's get back on task real quick. All right, so if we go back to our, it's not those components, it is under our blocks, collections, components here. All right, so our icon is what we're working with, but this should be working. So source set, let's change it again. Try this, and then if this doesn't work, we'll just do a dark mode icon since we're on dark mode, and then we'll move on from there. Picture, source set. All right, so I think there might be something going on with how it's trying to do the title. So let's change the the file name. Media value must be unique. Whatevs. All right. So let's change the file name here. Save. All right, and then we'll see what we have now. Picture. So I think I need to actually go into my Cloudflare instance to change the name of this, I suppose. Or, so yeah, that's saved. If we go to media, then let's go to our global settings. Oops. And then exit that. Choose from existing. Interesting. I wonder if WebP isn't available in source, which would not be cool, but whatever. All right, so let's try this. Hit save. Okay. Why haven't you changed? All right, so let's change it from this to be dark mode icon dot URL. Okay, so maybe not URL. Can I do thumbnail URL? I'm sure this is going to break something. All right, let's just move on. So we're going to use this, and since I didn't expect this to work, we will come back to this. Dark icon URL. All right, and then we can do icon. All right, so if I save that, we should get our icon there. There it is. All right, so that means we don't need this anymore. And then we're going to change our logo. So this clearly worked before, but that's fine. So let's just uncomment all of this. Don't need this. So then we'll do dark mode icon, and then light mode icon. And so this is going to be globals dot logos landscape logo, and then I can do as media. So now get rid of these, and then we're going to return an image, which is going to have a width and a height as well. Let's close this to have a little bit more screen space. And so we'll use the dark mode icon. Oh wait, dark icon URL. And then we can do dark mode icon dot alt description. And then I don't feel like trying to fix the screen size. So then we'll do dark mode icon dot width. Whoops. And then a height, do the same thing. All right, so this one's going to be harder to see for 2 reasons. First, I need to go here to my payload config to reactivate that, and then do our source components logo. And then I need to turn off auto login with our very secure password. Oh, so I need to first for logo. Since that can be undefined, that's a problem. So I'd rather it just break than be icon URL. So here we can do that. All description. All right, so these all need to be, and this makes sense. I need to make sure that these are able to be overwritten. There we go. So the problem is I did not upload a dark mode landscape icon. Oh, that's wrong. So we're going to do dev test. All right, and so in here then we need our dark mode landscape, which I can do, so not choose from existing. We'll create new, and then I'm going to pull this one in. So we'll do, I mean this honestly, so then primary inverse, logo, credit, this is the same person, save. All right, and let's see what this is. Since this is supposed to be light mode, we should change this one as well. We're going to select a file. We're not going to select a file like that though. And we'll do our full color version here. And then do this. Okay, and then the same person designed all of this. So hit save. I don't actually need this open anymore. Then I wonder, I want to see two things. The first, let's get out of here. And then let's save this. All right, then the second, I want to see, what if these were reversed? So if I had logo like this, and then this can be icon. Okay. Oh, all right, so it gets real tiny. So yeah, that should be an icon. All right, well that was fun. So now, if I go to log out, I see the inverse logo there. So it looks good on dark mode. And so we're going to reactivate our auto login first. All right, so we're back in, and then we're gonna change, well first, so let's go to localhost. While we're on the topic of favicons and icons in general, all right, so we have the icon there, perfect. But then, so this actually isn't important. Plain text converter is not important. Okay. That'll be important later. And then what are these? Because I'm using it. Okay. So what I might try doing here is the same thing. So we're going to, is this icon? Yes. We are going to try and fetch these. Maybe this isn't going to work like I think it will, but maybe it will. Okay, so as type of media. And then I should be able to come down here. Well, let's actually use these here since they're not doing anything anyway. Do light mode icon, slug file name. So that's the actual collection. Can I import my media types here? Oh, I don't need that. I don't see any types. So let's do import type media from payload types. Okay, so this is as media props. As media props. Okay, media props. So this is interesting. I wonder if this is going to work. I know I keep saying that, but I am flabbergasted that the other one worked. This works. Great. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to use the local API here, but maybe. All right, this logo URL is being used. That's fine. Oh wait, I could just use, instead of that, I could change this to be, so logo URL can be, let's just change this. We can do our logo URL. Instead of dark mode icon, we can do full logo, do landscape logo, just do landscape logo here, full logo. And so that's not something we're going to be able to see easily. That's going to be for the open graph, so not anything that I need to look at right now. So it seems like this is going to work just like I thought it would. So I had very little confidence that it actually would, but here we are. And so that means that if I take this away, we should see a different favicon, whatever, pop up. Oh wait, no, it's going to take the last. So if I take all of that off, well, that's going to break stuff. I wonder if this is breaking things. Dark mode icon URL. Oh yeah, that is what I just took off. So let's restart the server, see what happens. Okay, so stuff is loading. But not enough stuff is loading. So I'm thinking that means that this isn't going to work. And neither is this. All right, so let's just undo all of that and then work our way back in. Oops. I broke something again. Okay, reload. Okay. So let's slowly introduce things back. The first thing being, I want to see if I can just get my light mode icon working. Icons. All right, icon URL. All right, so this is just one icon, and that works great. I think. Okay, so we got something circular going here. Okay. So I don't think that works. It worked for a second though, so that was nice. But let's then not use our globals here. But I want it to. So what's happening here? So exported. Okay. So I don't think I can do this within a config. Interesting. All right, well, that's fine. We will just do nothing for our icons right now and nothing for our image. So, but that's fine. Okay, so we will comment out our icons, and then we will images already out. And so this is where I wanted the favicons to go, and I wanted to call them in from my globals. But now I wonder, oops, don't know where that's going to open. All right, I found it. Okay. So if I go to our payload docs, and we go to, again, docs down here, in our config file, configuration overview, and then we want to look for icons. So it's not here, but let's search for it then. Icons. So I don't think that these can be components, and that is okay. So whatever, it's fine. I'll move on. All right, so, but we do need to add here. So yes, we can do this, but now our next step, if I can stop fat fingering here, we will, probably not that late, get admin UI favicons set. All right, so it worked though for our actual, like the actual admin icons. So we changed the payload logo both on login and on like the little icon that shows up in the top left. And so the reason I wanted to do that is I would like for if a client wanted to change the logo, they could do it through their own CMS instead of having to do a development request. But, you know, it's all right. I'll survive. So payload config, I think I need to, yep. I did not comment out the global stuff, which I'm sure is messing with everything. Let's just restart the server and get back to it. Some good H2O. All right, so, and then also in the page on our to-do list, get change out icon based on light or dark mode preference. All right, so that will be for a later video, but now we want to go to our local host and we're going to fix images that should have links when the card has a button. So not like this. I don't think content with media needs it, but the cards do. So yes, I can click on this and go to our industries, but I really would like the image to also have that ability. So if we go to our cards, cards, component, card grid, should be this is the actual cards. Perfect. All right, so here then we need to go to our content and look at our homepage and look at cards. So here we have card, and then there's this include button. Let's see here. So this is some card text, and then there's a button there already. So if I hit the include button, there's that. So if I hit save here, include button is off, which should get rid of this button, but it does not. All right, so now if I set this as true, let that load up, refresh, then this works, but it's not the proper link. Interesting. So we can look at the code here. Oh, okay, so the problem is that this is an internal link now. So we also need to check the link type to make sure that we get the right link. So a couple of things need to be fixed here. So we need to make sure that the card has a button. So the include button is marked as true. And so right now we see that that is true, but we... Oh wait, yeah. So, but even when it's marked as false, there is still this button here. So I think that needs to be here, button container. And so if we do card dot, I can just do this here. So instead of card buttons, that do card include button. Oh, I guess I still need that. And card dot buttons dot card dot buttons card include button. Hit save there, and I didn't save that, so that button went away. Perfect. So first part done, good to go. second part, let's get our internal link fixed. So we're going to include button here just to make sure that this actually worked. Include button, and then this should come back with our button. Great, and so we've got this link, but now we need to update that link. So our button itself checks for an internal link. So we are going to do the same thing here. So let's take our whole check. Oh, it's a reference. Perfect. Okay. So let's come up to if it's active, we should get the internal link from props. I guess it's buttons. Oh no, it's from card. So we'll do card dot. Okay. So this is an array, which means that I'm going to have to use this reference for reference. So card, we come down to here, we've got our include button, which means that the link is working now. So for our href, this is where we're going to be working. So let's give ourselves some space here, because what we need to do is first check if there should only be one button now. So if I do card dot buttons, yeah, so there is only one button, so I can just do dot link type is equal to external. We can just return our card dot buttons dot It's fine. I was thinking of ways to be lazy, but that's going to take too much time. Dot link. And then, if not, so this can go away now. Then this comes down so I can see what I'm doing. And then we want to check then if our card buttons.internal link. So this project right now I'm working on is one is just a hobby project. So I'm working on building a boilerplate that I can use for future clients. I'd just be able to clone my own project instead of using something else. And so what I'm working on right now is fixing on our page over here right now. I have a card section, and I want that card section to have images that you can click on. So right now it's not working where I can click on it because I changed from using external links to using internal links. And so now I'm doing my checks here to make sure I get the proper link by setting a a conditional check to see if I'm getting my external link or my internal link. And so that's what I'm working on right now. But the whole project itself is boilerplate. I want to make sure that I have a project that I can use to just clone and have very good, strong, bare bones using PayloadCMS and NextJS. All right, so we've got our internal link dot relation to does not equal pages. So we don't want it to equal pages. And then, oh boy, okay. Let's just copy all of this to end it, and then I'll adjust as I need. Okay, all of that. Get rid of this constant here. And then I should be able to come here, and I'll explain this code here in a second. All right, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate that. So card dot buttons. All right, so now if I don't have anything though, Type string null undefined. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Medusa.js for e-commerce, and I know there's not like an actual template for e-commerce yet with Payload, so I'm sure other people will be interested in what you come up with for that. All right, so I got the internal links working here, but I want to get rid of this type error too. So type undefined is not assignable to type URL. And so the issue here is that I guess at the end of this, it can still be undefined. So it wants... So, all right, so we have our card buttons. If the link type is external, it'll then return the link. That's great. That's what we want. If it's not, it's going to check then if the relation to is pages. If it's not, or if it is not equal to pages, we would do a type check to make sure all of that's right, and then we return our relation to, which is what this is happening right now. So that's industries, internal link value slug. So that's right. And then if it is equal to pages, then we skip that relation to part and it shows, and then it checks if it's home. If it is home, then it'll return just the /, and if it's not home, it'll return the slug here, which this should actually have a / maybe? I think it does. I'm going to double check. Do /. So then I need a way for it to make sure that that check happens. Okay, so that's wrong. So I don't need those /. And then, but that's all the way through the end of the check. So, all right. Did that break anything? It did not. So all of that should be good now. So these cards can be clicked on. These buttons can also be clicked on. The text area cannot. So there's no buttons here and there's no space for buttons there. So let's go and change this from internal. So the small business one will change to external, which we'll just set to, I don't know, YouTube. And then let it open in a new tab, hit save. And then refresh. And so it shows up as YouTube. Perfect. All right, so it's getting its check. Great. And then let's double check that this opens as blank. Perfect. So obviously we don't want that. We can switch this back to internal. Save. And then if I refresh it, we then again have our industries. Oh, why didn't the image change back? Because it has an external link. But link type is no longer external. Type is no longer external. And so I think then, oh, it's the open in a new tab. All right, so we got to make another change then. What we need to do is, this should actually never be external. So, so what we'll want to do is do our, did I paste? I didn't copy it. All right, so cards, our card dot buttons, do that, and then we'll want to make sure that our internal, so link type, this needs to equal, we'll just do does not equal external, just to keep it as explicit as possible. So now this can't ever be true, and that's fine. So then we need to move this logic down here. And so this needs to be card.buttons. Oops. Link type does equal external. Because I also might want to have, if we can do our target, we can set this to be, I don't ever imagine this being true for an internal link, but just in case, we do want the ability to open in a new tab, blank, and then if it's not, we can do self. All right, so then that should get rid of this part. So now if I refresh this, I'm not too worried about what the external link's going to do yet, but all right, so this open in a new tab thing is messing with me too. So we can move this here and then target. If it's external, we always want it to open in a new tab. So this should be set back, hopefully. Oops. So why not though? All right, so we're here in our link. So now we're checking if the relation to the internal link is not equal to pages. If it's not, that means that we do our relation to with our slug. So that should be just like this says, industries real estate. Sometimes I do some weird things when I'm starting projects. All right, so now all of this should work. We're going to double check and test, make sure. So open a new tab is checked, which means that this will open in a new tab. But now let's switch this back to external. And what this should do is ignore this part of the branch and go straight down to our branch here, where it's checking that it includes buttons, that the link type is external. And if it is, it'll be YouTube. And YouTube will open in a new tab. I can see it here with the target equals blank. So now let's actually switch this back to what it's supposed to be now that everything is working like I want it to. And then just to make sure everything is good, we'll include a button down here. We'll add one button. I guess I can add multiple buttons. I don't know why I ever would, but whatever. All right, so then we'll do another internal button. We'll set the title to be, well, let's set the link first. Let's do contact. Hit save, and then the first card, I believe, in our 3 card should have contact. And so there's no way that 2 buttons would fit there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Cool. Next thing, checked off. So we fixed our image links when card has a button. Let's add our global settings because I think that's going to be faster and we should get fewer errors doing that. So in our global settings, we'll set this to be NLV codes. The domain will be NLV codes.com, which I do own, I just haven't used yet. I don't have a GTM tag manager code. I'm not going to put my phone number in here. All right, so some of these things we don't actually need. I'll include phone number. Well, I don't need it for my project, but as a boilerplate, it makes sense to have. So I'll leave these in for, or the phone number in for a template. And then I have here that I can include the menu in the footer. And then we have addresses, like actual physical addresses that we can include. By adding the address, I only have one of a local restaurant. Then we can add some social links. So let's do that. And so I've got my YouTube. Let's do, what do we got? Copy link address. I'm going to copy in my YouTube channel here. And I don't really have any other social, so we're going to stick with that. So I can hit save. All that should be good. Of course, we don't have any social sections in, but so that means we need to add social section component, which I might have already. Components. I've got social links here. Oh, okay, and so this is the actual description there. So I'm working on a video actually to do a tutorial on that. So we won't go too deep into that one yet, but all right, our graphics aren't there anymore. We can delete this folder, trying to clean up as I go too, just to make things a little bit clearer. Because with this, I actually duplicated an actual working project, and so some of the stuff that I don't actually need is in here. Yeah, so I don't have a social section, and I'm not going to really dig into that quite yet, but I do have a footer. So let's take a look at our components up here, which should have our footer. Just making sure I don't have anything there. Yep. All right, so let's go to our footer. I also don't have, so I have an icons, like an array of SVG icons that I use for other projects. I'm going to have to pull that in too. So we can't do any of this right now. So pull in SVG icons for this section. Put in footer. Perfect. Okay. So, sure, global settings are correct. So one other thing that I've been hearing a lot is people want to see schema markup be put in correctly. And so I've done a little bit of that, but let's take a look and dive into a little bit more detail about how I do schema. And I'm actually an SEO digital marketer by trade. So this kind of stuff is like built into my DNA. So let's erase this. I don't need to add any events. But I can, well, no, I can't. So it's fine. I don't need anything for, again, that's events. Video is great. We need that. Logo. This does have like the business stuff. So I need to leave this, but I don't have an address, so this is something that I'll just leave as uncommented, or as commented. All right, so article. This is one that we can do. I don't have a podcast, so I'm going to get rid of all of this. Don't need this one either. Don't need that one. I did a project for some music artists as well, so that's included. So we can do post. That's post. Then, just because I'm afraid this is going to break my project if I don't update this now. Yeah, regardless, it's going to break my project. So post title, post, this should be image. All right, so we definitely have to do a couple of things here. Not speaker. I think I should have an author. Okay. And then, so if I go, let's change this also to an author. And then I actually want to go and check our author collection or author config, collection config. It's all the same. All right, we have our do we have an do I just have it as a users? Users, no. Text. So I just imported this type author, but what even is it, or where did it come from? Okay. Interesting. So I don't even actually have this collection. But if I go to my posts, do I have an author here? Posts. Tab content. Relationship authors. Okay. So it's actually supposed to be our users. So I don't even know what type this brought in, but all right. User, payload types. So we're good there. Now we can go to our users, which I don't think has any kind of social icon stuff yet. And I think that's okay for now. So we just won't include same as. We have to. I'm being lazy. So in our users config, we've got our name, we've got our slug, and then after the slug we'll do we'll just do name of social links, and then we need to do it's going to be an array, so it's going to be type array, and then we'll do fields. We'll then have a new field, and this will be name of, we'll just do, link is fine. So we'll do link, and then type not array, it'll be, this one should be a select, and then we'll have options where we'll do a label of YouTube value. I'm going to do lowercase just to make it easier on myself. And then after that, we will do another field, if I can type. So then we'll do name of URL, type text. So I only have YouTube right now, so we'll make this work. Terminal. Then if I go to my users, if stuff doesn't break, we'll see what happens. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we'll just use any of these. We'll do the blog one because I can read that. So social link, we'll add in YouTube. We're going to change this label to be URL because I'm not going to be lazy. And then we will change, we'll label this as, actually this is a good time to use another label. And I think I can just do admin, components, description. And so if I come over to, I have it already in my social, where are you at? Social links description. I should just be able to use this still. Here. We'll see. So I can do social link, and then I can do So it's got the social link 01 part right. Data channel. Okay, so we'll change this to be channel, just to keep things concise, consistent. Still nothing. All right, well that's fine. And then let's take our URL here and save. Though now I am curious. Social links description, social media link. So that worked. And then data.channel. I wonder if I can do data.sociallinks.channel. Didn't think so. Oh, social media link undefined. LOL. All right. So this isn't actually what I want because it's doing an actual description. So where I want this to be is row label. Never claimed to be bright. So then this needs to actually come up to our array field instead. Okay. There we go. So I definitely don't want channel. Not label. No, yeah, that should be right. But it's not. So we've got YouTube lowercase. I'll survive. But either way, so that works, that's in there. So now we can go back to our schema. And then we've got our social links there. And we'll just do our channel. All right, so then we have our author name. And then here should be author? No, so post.content.authors. So that should be good. Then we have post dot should have content. Post dot content image, I believe dot image again. Yes. All right, so do I have to use this again? So I'm not using, well, I am using, I don't think mentions or anything. So this is not part of any kind of series. And then our article body. All right, so good. We have another thing to do here. So let's take a second to first get this right, but I'm not using image anywhere else. So what I can do is just do post.content.image.image. Now I should be able to get rid of all these other checks. Great. So we'll come back to this in a second because what we want to do is instead of our description HTML, we want the content.rich text. And then here, did I already create? Yes, lexical to plain text. And that should be good. So now we'll implement this one by one. So I'm going to do this add article on our, not page, components. Oh, it is pages. My brain just broke. All right. And so I actually just finished these videos. I do have an actual series going through how to do each of these steps, specifically with Schema. So a streamlined version of this is coming out soon. It's just I really wanted to get this done. So we're going to do const schema, if I can spell, and that's going to be an array. And then we're going to add article and just pass in pass in blog. And so next we will then do our default script. And then we can do type I just want to make sure I get all this right. So we can do type equals application JSON plus LD, or LD plus JSON. Okay, just making sure that I have that right. All right, and then, oh, so we do need this to be an open script. And then we want to do a strategy, and let's do after interactive. Doesn't really matter. This isn't like the most important thing to have render, so I wouldn't put it as before interactive. But we're going to use JSON dot stringify, and we'll do our schema there. All right, so now let's go over to a post. And then we're going to open this up. So if we inspect, and then I just want to check in the head just in case. But actually, I'm pretty sure all of these scripts come down here at the bottom. So all right, so there's a bunch of images. But let's check the last one, maybe. Oh, I gotta find it. They're gonna make me dig for it. All right, so let's do, what is it? I think it's blog posting. Nope, okay, so article. Article. There we go. All right, so now we can see our schema in here. And this might be a little bit hard to see, but we have our type of article, the headline, the image. Oh, we don't have, oh, we do. We have date published. We don't have our date updated though. So we can do date modified, updated at. Let's take a look at our structured data here. Then we take a look at article. I just want to make sure I get the name right. Date modified, which I did. All right, perfect. But now I can see we have our date published, which is the actual published date. And then we should have date modified somewhere in here. Maybe I need to refresh. Article. Article. So yep, date published, date modified. Perfect. So our article schema is good to go. And then I wonder if we should do something like adding in the URL as well. But I don't think I have that. So I have social links and that's it. So I think we're okay. All right, and I guess I lucked out because that's my Nick blog there. All right, so let's take a look real quick at another blog. One that might be a little bit more complex. Maybe this one. So we'll go to our script that I'm working in, which is lexical to plain text. Node type, node children. I don't know what this is going to look like. Oh, it doesn't have any content. That explains that. So this one has like a table of contents and stuff, which are blocks. So let's find that article. So our article body doesn't do anything because it's probably just all a bunch of blocks. So that makes sense that it wouldn't. I think it makes sense. But I guess, yeah, so it's only trying to take text and not any kind of blocks. So I would need to build this out a little bit more. So if we were to do, that's future blog. So let's go over to our posts. Save this just in case. Don't know what it changed. But if we go to our posts, future blog's the only one that's up right now. All right. So we have our table of contents. And so here, if I do API, so what's likely needing to happen is this is taking our node, which is rich text, or it's content, and then it's, no, sorry, it is rich text. And then it's taking so it's finding anything with the type of node of text, which there are none here, and returning just the text. And so if I wanted a post of just blocks, yeah, if I just wanted a post of just blocks, then we would need to adjust how we do this, which would then be something like if node type is block and node dot block type equals, this should be table of contents. I'm just gonna do like return test, because I would have to do one of these for each block. There we go. All right, so that actually doesn't work. Interesting. All right, so this is not something that I think I'll deal with, but just in case, we're going to actually add this to our to-do list. So work on lexical to plain text to plain, I don't know how to write this, plain textify blocks. So if node dot type I don't think this is going to do anything either. Oh, I think this just needs to be block. Do article. Yeah, so it's passing in a bunch of yes, I have a link to this project in the description of this video. So if you want to check it out, feel free. As soon as I'm done streaming here, I'm going to commit my changes. But thanks for tuning in. Sleep well. All right, so we do see node type is block. So then if I do... Oh, I'm so glad. I know I'm not the best at live coding, and I'm not even the best coder I know, but If people can learn from what I'm doing, that's all that really matters to me. Table of contents. So then we want to do article. All right, so let me log the node. I want to see what I'm getting. Yeah, so block. So node type equals block. Oh, okay. So node dot fields. We should get a little bit something from this article. Oops. Article body. Well, why did it do it that way? All right, so now we have kind of something to work on. So we'll come back to this because we'll want to do that for each block type. But not really anything to worry about right now because I wrote it down on the to-do list. So let's work on another schema. So we're not going to work on our logo right now because we needed like an actual address. We have our video here, which actually should be fine. Okay, don't need all of those. Oh. What? So I just need this last one. Okay. That looks good. I do have video already. And then we have the image already. All right, so breadcrumbs would be up next. And so we'll do that here in a second. These are types, so I don't want those. I'll leave the globals there. Definitely don't need process. We want that. We don't need author. We don't need either of those. We can leave the globals for now, because I'll probably want that. Then same with the get cached globals. This needs to change from get payload HMR to just get payload. Which I think is just get payload from payload. Don't need any of these types. We'll need this, this, and I don't need a format date. So I think we're in good shape here. Image is good. So I believe if I go to my schema component again, schema, we've got the container, which takes that there. I don't even have a strategy set for this one, but all of them just go into the end, so I think we're okay. But that does mean I can change our blog post from script to be just schema. What is this called? Individual. Which means I don't need any of this. So then I also don't need any of this, because I'll just do self-closing, and then it needs schema, which we can just add in our schema. And really, we should just change this, because we won't need this either. We're going to be passing in an array, get rid of this console log. So that individual and so this should just be schema. Yeah, that works. So we can change from this to be schema. And then we also need to change that, and I believe the other one's going to be here. Or it'll be an image object. So if I go to, we have an image object somewhere. Components. Utilities. Oh, it's going to be under media. And then we'll do our media image object. I don't think these types shouldn't matter anymore, but let's see where this is going. So we're going to change this from individual to just be schema. And then do the schema. I don't know if I need an await here anymore. I guess I do. Oh, that's right, because this fetches something. All right. Does it? Do you need to be async? If you don't, then I'm not going to make you. Let's see what happens. Yeah, all right, so that works. All right, so we have all of our, the schema is good there. We don't need this types folder, or types file rather. Do refactor. And then we have our index here, which that's fine, I'm okay with that. So we have image object, video object. This can then be schema, and so can this. So we've got our video, we have our image, we have our article schema. I lost my index. Okay, right, breadcrumbs. So we have a breadcrumbs container here, and this is where we'll want to put this schema. There's probably a sleek way to do this, but I don't know it. So we've got our breadcrumbs container, and this is where we're going to put our schema. So I want to do schema, and then do const schema, and this should be so anywhere that we have 3 breadcrumbs, I want to put them in there. And anywhere it has 2, we'll want to use that. So I do know a way to do this, I believe. I think I've done this before. So it may not be done in the breadcrumbs container though. Let's take a look, breadcrumbs. Yeah, so I would just use this. Breadcrumb props. Link and name, that's all I need. All right, so we won't use the container because I don't think I need it. So we go to our breadcrumbs though. We're going to import our schema from, okay, we'll keep it. Did I even use breadcrumb container here? I guess kind of. So this is going to be a return. All right, so we're going to do our const schema. It's going to be an array where, not even, so we'll do our breadcrumbs container. So we're going to take just this as an example. So schema is equal to this as an object. All right, and so what we'll do is we're going to do our breadcrumbs dot map breadcrumb, and then we're going to do the same thing really. So index and array, and this is going to then return that object. If I did this right. There we go. All right, so now we're going to take our breadcrumb.name, and this I should have, do I have my get server side URL? I do. So this is going to get the URL set on the server side instead of having to pull it in from my globals. And then we should be able to do this. Breadcrumb.link. All right, so I broke something here, but let's get through this first. And then, so it's only going to be, oh, so I'm not mapping the entire thing. So what needs to happen is first, let's get rid of this because position is going to be index +1. And so this actually just needs to be where we're doing our breadcrumbs. So we're going to do breadcrumbs.map. Then here we do our breadcrumb. And then now move you here. Don't need this array. And then all of this goes away. That doesn't exist anymore. Perfect. But what we need to do is the name stays, but the URL does not exist for just for this schema. It can exist, so actually let's just leave it. So there is no breadcrumb link. I don't think that happens, but we'll see. What did I do? Return statement is not allowed here. Schema index. Oh. All right, so we come here. Nothing's going to show up yet because we need to add it to... Well, now we need that breadcrumbs container. So, does it have usages? It does. Oh, okay. So what we can do, if I go into breadcrumbs, it comes up here. But then I can, instead, I don't want to have to map it. So we'll come to our breadcrumbs container. Nope. We will just add it. We can add it here. So if I return, I should just be able to do... Oops. Return. Come on. Do a fragment here. And then let's make sure that that doesn't break anything here. It does not. So then I can do our schema. And then, oh, shoot. Then we can do our schema. There we go. Schema. Now our breadcrumbs. Let's see what happens. Small breadcrumbs. Oh, well, it's going to come down here. There it is. All right, so that means I don't need this or this. So this had the like a double slash at the end there, and I don't need that. So breadcrumb. Oh, lots of breadcrumbs. All right, so it's just somewhere down here. That's an image object. Image object, image, image, breadcrumb list. All right, so we got rid of our so I guess there's no link coming in for the last one. So what we would do is breadcrumb.link. And so we're gonna grab this to make it easier to search. And there we go. So now I got rid of, there was no link, so I was able to just get rid of that here. So we have our breadcrumbs, which means we don't need, and this is in breadcrumbs. So if I kept like adding like layers, then it should just continue to expand as long as it goes. So then I should have a const up here called breadcrumbs. Yep, I sure do. And so I've got my link and my name. And the reason that that last link was undefined was because I didn't include a link here, which is now why I'm able to take that off over there. So then we should be able to go to like our industries page. And I don't have a place for breadcrumbs here. So that may be something that I want to do, even if I don't include it in like the front end. So what I could do is, I don't need to await anymore. This isn't used, and neither is this. So what I could do is, this is the industry page. So this is 3 layers deep. So I need const of bread crumbs, and so this could actually just be schema as well. Oh, that makes it easy. And so set our breadcrumbs to be equal to, let's copy and paste, make my life easier. Even though there isn't a blog, I can just drop this in here, and then we've got our industries. And then we have our page, and we should have a title, yep. And so now if I go over to our industries, small business, we should be able to, oops. Where am I? So industries slug. I did not return it yet, so I want to come down here and do breadcrumbs. So now we should have a breadcrumb list somewhere. Why not? Breadcrumbs schema. Industries slug. Yeah, so this should be right. Breadcrumbs. So what are these? Image object, image object, image. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I understand what happened. So, since it's not, all of this needs to be moved. So, I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to say. I'm starting to run out of mental steam here. I've been going for almost 2 hours, so we'll probably call it quits here in a minute. But let's go ahead and get our breadcrumbs situated. So, we're going to change this constant to be, instead of add 2 breadcrumbs, we'll just do add breadcrumbs. And then we're going to, we don't need an async. We just need to do our breadcrumbs. Get rid of our global settings. Let this be get server-side URL. And then should be breadcrumb .link. And so this is going to be any, so we need to add, so we actually will add our type. Set breadcrumbs to be breadcrumbs props. Property link does not exist on breadcrumbs props. Disagree, but let's just keep moving until I get some things a moving. Unless I need to do, wait, first, let's just copy all of this and paste it in the return here. So all of that should be good. Perfect. All right, so now we can change this to be from breadcrumbs to be add breadcrumbs, and then it's going to take in the breadcrumbs. Well, also, first of all, this should be also doing an array, which is going to be add breadcrumbs. It's going to take breadcrumbs. So that worked fine. If I go to industries, breadcrumbs. All right, we'll check the type error here in a second. I just want to make sure that this works. Yep, all right, so there's that. We have a null, so we need to fix. Oh, and that's in the add image, so. All right, we'll figure that out here in just one moment. So this is working, but I think I need to add in, let's export this type just to make sure it works. So then we'll do, all right, yeah, so All right, fine. All right, and so now this image here, we need to change this from add image to, I just need to get the image. Ooh. So it should already be there. Industries, meta.image. Yeah, I didn't think so. So add image. So why am I getting a null value for that image? So we go to our schema. We're passing in image. What do we have? So can I log meta? Dang it. Undefined. Oh, okay, so the problem is that it probably doesn't have a meta image. So easy to fix. We'll add it. So we can go to our pages. Nope, sorry, go to industries. Industries. And we'll go to small business. We'll go to our SEO. And we'll just add whatever image we can find. Now this doesn't have any meta content, so let's do that. Some description. There we go. So small business is working now. We come here, and then we can do our breadcrumb list. And our image object is showing now too. Great. So we have our breadcrumbs. Let's make sure it still works on our blog, which it should. Breadcrumb list. Great. So we've got home, we've got blog, and then we have position 3. This is my new featured post, which is the actual title. Great. So I think that covers it for our schema, because we don't need add 3 breadcrumbs. Then I also have a feeling that we won't need some of this. So right now, though, we've got an article, we've got an image, and we've got video schema, which is great. So let me just, I'm rearranging something real quick. Breadcrumbs. I guess this is fine to be exported from there. All right, so the last thing, the last schema that we would need would be like the main add logo, which is like the local business one, or local, yeah, whatever. So that works. So what we'll do is we'll add that again to the end here to do create local business schema from add logo. And so I just don't have an address that I can give for that, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to try and figure something out. But I do have like one of the, I do have an address stored in my database, so I could use that. I'm going to make sure that I got rid of this console log, and it looks like I did. Don't know what that ignore was. So I think we're good. I'll add local stuff later. And so in the next one, I want to cover, I made it through quite a bit, honestly, so I'm impressed with myself. Mostly what I'm impressed with is that these icons can be pulled from the API. So I can use REST API to communicate with my payload, my payload backend to get logos, and I can change this, no problem. Now the only issue that I face is that the Favicon doesn't really work because it just, I guess, puts me in an infinite loop. Have you used Angular? No, I haven't used Angular before. By the time that I got into web development, Next was the hot stuff, React and Next. So I missed the Angular, I guess Prime is like 5 or 6 years ago when I, like that was before I got into it. I was working with a couple of vendors who were using Angular, so I was interested in it. I knew about it, but it wasn't something that I pursued using. So no, I don't use Angular, but I've heard good things. So I wish I had more to say about it, but I do not. All right, so I do want to see if there is a way to do the admin UI favicons, I don't know how you say it. But I would love to do it with the, I don't even know where my config file is. Config right here. I would love to be able to use our globals to fetch the favicon, but I just don't know if that's possible because I think it would need to be done in a component and then brought into the icons, and I just don't think, I guess we can try it real quick. This is not going to take long, I promise. So I'm going to just take one of these icons, going to comment out the other one. We're going to take this one. I'm going to create a new component, which is going to be just test icon, just to make sure that it works. And it is going to be TSX. Add, and then we're going to export const test icon. And then we should do all of this. So for a junior developer searching for jobs, I can give the best advice I've seen has been looking around and seeing what job postings have. So like you're searching for jobs, yes, and you're going to have natural leaning for what technology you are good at and what you enjoy learning and what you enjoy doing. But there is also the component of like finding jobs. So like what is the hot technology in your area? So if you have a lot of local agencies around you who are doing web development, you'll want to check and see what tech stacks do they expect you to know for that. And then you can use whatever technology you want on the side. Like I know Python, I guess Python's the only other one that I know, but I know other web development frameworks. I know other coding that helps me in my job, but at the end of the day, like I'm going to use what's going to make me money. So eventually you may find your way into like a senior level role where you're using a vast, like a variety of technologies. But when it comes down to it, learn what's in demand in your area or in roles that you want to be a part of. Learn that technology, master it, and get like on board 100% with that. And then start thinking about how you're going to solve problems rather than what technology you should learn. What's the right tool for the right job? So there's going to be times where like NextJS is the best option, but there's going to be other times where maybe Astro is. They're both React, but you'll want to know how each of them work so you know which one is better for which task. So I know I'm rambling a little bit there, but just knowing what technologies are in demand in your area or in roles that you want to be a part of, that's going to be the best starting point. And then just practicing and mastering that technology. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Export. I think I'm overthinking this part a little bit. Sure am. All right, there we go. And then I don't think I can do a return statement here. And I'm just messing with something right now. This is not anything that's supposed to be like... Do not follow along with this. This is a mess right now. All right, so we have our export const, and then so let's pull in back in our payload config. I didn't delete this yet, so I also don't think this is going to work. So we're going to try and just get this broken as soon as possible. Back up here, we're going to need our globals with our light mode icon. As media. Pull that in from our types. And then our icon URL. And then come down over here. And just do test icon. So I need to return the object is what I need to do. So video. Oh, looking at the wrong thing. So async function, not quite what I'm looking for. Let's look at our icon. Word const. Ah, where am I? Okay. So then this should just be return. There we go. Fetch priority string. Do I not have a fetch priority? Is that the problem? No, I do. Oh, it's pulling in the type. Why is it pulling in a type? Or maybe it is. I don't know. Test icon from components test icon. I could do this, which is probably better anyway. Let's bring you all in here. Yeah, this is not going to work. Change this first. Property URL is missing in type. No, it's there. Functions cannot be passed directly to client components unless you explicitly expose it by markup. Okay, so this is not going to work. Ignore everything that I just did. We will set our favicons, however you say it, in the old-fashioned way later on. So I'm not going to worry about this anymore. Let's go ahead and delete that. Delete anyway. All right, and then make sure we can get all of this working again. We sure can. Perfect. All right. So we did quite a bit. We got in our icons for the PayloadCMS admin UI. So we got a little icon and then a big logo for the login. We then fixed some cards that had a problem with buttons, where if the button was there, if there was an external link or an internal link, it didn't catch the link into the image. So now the cards have the link or the image linked as well as the button linked. And then we started working on all of that schema stuff. So we did some good work getting all of that stuff done. On the next one, we're going to be working through our RSS feed, sitemap, and robots.txt. I do, again, have streamlined tutorials coming out for that soon. Over the next couple of weeks, got to make sure that stuff is on time. And then I want to use, I've got an FAQ block Somewhere. I thought I had an FAQ block. I definitely have an FAQ block. Hold on. We're not going to get too much into this, but FAQ. I do. All right. And it's under the logos. All right. So there should be an FAQ block here, which tells me if we go to our render blocks, render blocks, render blocks, render blocks. Where are you at? So it's hit or miss right now when I stream. I'm trying to get to like an actual set schedule. So typically between, like, I'll start somewhere around 7:15, 7:30 Eastern time, so East Coast of the United States. At the latest, I'll start at 8. Would it help if I like sent out like a post that notifies you when, like, so I can put a post out that would say I'm going to stream at X time today. Is that something that would be helpful? Features. Where's my render blocks? There it is. And that's not even what I was looking for. I need my JSX converter. That's what I'm looking for. So it'd be rich text. But no, it wouldn't be. Blocks. All right, yeah, so I'll put that out next time when I start streaming, or the day that I plan on streaming. I may hop on tomorrow. I've got to check what's going on. But it should be doable where I can do another stream tomorrow. At the latest, I would do Sunday. So the next time, if I don't stream tomorrow, the next time I'll stream is Sunday. So Sunday around 7:30, you can expect to see me on 7 or 7:30. But I will do a post on YouTube the next time that I plan on doing a stream. So I think I need to change this to FAQ. Okay. Right, logos. All right, so I'm gonna fix this up and then call it quits. It just is bothering me that the FAQ isn't there now. FAQ block type is FAQ block. There it is. All right, so I want this to be able, so like if I have one open, so like one is default. I guess I clicked on a link or I broke my page. What happened? All right, so, oh, that's a link. Need to fix that. But what I want is for one to be a default open, and then if I click on another, it'll close the other one. So that's what I mean by the set open index. So what we will do next time is probably these three. We'll work on the RSS feed, sitemap, robots.txt, get all that squared away, work on having the FAQ block, do what I want it to do, and then change out the favicon, or not the favicons, the logos within the admin UI to either be light or dark mode. So I'll do all that next time, again, either tomorrow around 7:30 p.m. Eastern, at the very latest Sunday around 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll get us like an actual firm schedule. You're not the first person to ask me when I actually go live. So I'll be better about it next time. But I think this is a good place to stop. We did some good work getting a lot of this done. I'm feeling really good about this, but the more I do this project, the more the to-do list grows. And I think that's kind of normal, but eventually this will get done and I'll have a new project for us. I am working on like a full tutorial. I need to introduce a few more concepts, be like for the streamlined tutorials that I do. And I'm going to reintroduce Tailwind to make the tutorial a little bit easier to understand, so I don't have to like slow down and do styles. So I'm going to introduce Tailwind here in a couple of weeks. And then we'll have a full tutorial going shortly after that. There's just a few more things to write out and to work on. So I put out a new streamlined tutorial every Tuesday. So that's going to be different concepts within PayloadCMS. If you have suggestions on what you want to see, I would love to hear about that. Go ahead and drop it in the comments or let me know in some other way. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. You get notified whenever I go live, so that'll be helpful there. You'll also get notified whenever I schedule a post for when I go live. So make sure you're subscribed. Share this content, like it if you liked it, and I guess I will see you all either Thursday or Sunday. All right, thanks for watching.